All right, let's open the file on what might be the most controversial and, frankly, most desperate team Superman has ever put together. This is a confidential briefing, a deep dive into a final, high stakes mission led by an aging hero who knows he's running out of time.
And that, right there, is the big question, isn't it? It's what this is all about. After an entire lifetime of being the guy who could handle anything, why now? Why does the single most powerful hero on Earth suddenly need backup? Well, the answer? It's a lot more complicated and, honestly, a lot sadder than you might think.
Because, this isn't the same Superman we've always known. He has made a choice, a huge shift in his entire philosophy. For decades, he was a symbol, an ideal to strive for. But now, time and a deep, gnawing sense of failure have forced his hand. He's decided to stop being a symbol and start being a sword, an active and way more dangerous force for change.
And this decision, it's nothing short of a hero's final gambit. The reasons he's forming this new authority are born out of desperation, and they show us a side of Superman that has been hidden for a long, long time.
Okay, so let's break down what's really driving him. First, and this is a big one, he's in physical decline. I'm talking his powers are fading to the point where he can barely even fly anymore. Second, he is absolutely haunted by what he sees as a failed legacy. He feels his whole generation of heroes ran out of time to keep a promise they made to President Kennedy to create a finer world. And that brings us to the third point. This team is his last shot. It's his final opportunity to get it right, so he's recruiting people to wield the power that he's losing.
And this quote, wow, it just says it all, doesn't it? You can feel the absolute weight of a lifetime of struggle in those words. This isn't just another mission for him. This is it. This is everything. So, who does he turn to for this last-ditch effort? Well, his first picks are a real shock. He doesn't go to the Justice League. No, he seeks out the original, highly controversial members of the Authority. And that alone tells you he's taking a much darker, more pragmatic approach this time around. And first on his list is Midnighter, the team's brutally efficient strategist. He is without a doubt the tactical cornerstone of this whole operation. So here's why he's so crucial. Midnighter's brain is basically a combat supercomputer that has already run every possible scenario of a fight before it even begins. He's there to provide the flawless battlefield intellect that Superman's fading raw power can't anymore. From now on, victory comes from perfect strategy, not just brute strength. And right alongside Midnighter is his partner, Apollo. Now, if Midnighter is the team's brain, then Apollo is its blazing solar-powered heart, of being of just unbelievable power. And this image right here shows you exactly what he brings to the table. We see him just single-handedly erasing the supernatural darkness of the villain Eclipso. This proves it's not just about hitting hard. It's about having the right kind of power for these overwhelming, almost abstract threats. And the dossier backs this up. He is there to fill that power vacuum Superman left behind. But what's just as important is his loyalty. The guy was absolutely starstruck when he met Superman. I mean, he's a lifelong fan. So he's not just some hired muscle. He's a true believer in what they're doing. So, with that veteran core locked in, the recruitment effort shifts. It moves from the team's past to its future. It was time to bring in the next generation, integrating from cutting-edge tech and some serious magic. And that begins with Natasha Irons. She's the brilliant daughter of the original Steel, and it was pretty clear from the jump that she was the top candidate to be the team's field commander. So her recruitment file basically opens with this right here. She's not fighting aliens or robots. She's taking on hostile digital life forms that are manifesting straight out of the internet. Think about that. It's a totally modern threat, and she handled the whole thing by herself. And that's exactly why she's so critical. She is an expert against these new, unpredictable kinds of enemies. But it's more than that. The woman has natural leadership skills. In fact, even Midnighter, the most cynical guy in the room, admitted she was the team's most qualified field commander. I mean, coming from him, that's about the highest praise you can possibly get. This quote just really hammers home what she was up against. It takes this abstract idea of digital life forms and makes it terrifyingly real. She wasn't fighting code. She was fighting weaponized hate. Okay, the next recruit fills a totally different but completely essential role. The team needed magic, and for that, they turned to Enchantress. But finding her, well, that turned out to be a rescue mission. Yeah, they found her trapped in a mental hospital, literally moments away from being lobotomized. As you can see here, she was locked inside this psychological hell prison that she had accidentally created in her own mind. Superman's very first act as her commander was helping her see that she had the power to break herself free.
Her purpose on this team was incredibly specific and absolutely critical. See, she wasn't recruited for her raw power. She was brought on because her specific magical skills, the ability to shatter illusions and track people across dimensions, were the only way they could find the final person they needed for the mission.
And this is where the whole story flips on its head. Because everything we've just talked about, the aging hero, the powerhouse recruits, all the careful planning, turns out it was all just a cover story, a distraction from a much deeper, much more important objective. So that's the real question, right? What is this team actually for? If everything we just learned was just the setup, then what in the world is the endgame?
And here it is, the big reveal. The public mission, the one everyone knows about, is to go to Warworld and free its slaves from the tyrant Mongol. And yeah, that's a noble goal. But the true mission, the one known only to Superman, is to protect their final recruit, a woman named Lightray, no matter what. The entire Warworld invasion, it's a cover.
So why all the secrecy? Why the elaborate deception? Because of this. Superman shows his second-in-command a fragment of the Source Wall, an artifact from the very beginning of the universe. And for days, it has been broadcasting a chilling, repeating message. For 11 straight days, this cosmic relic has been spelling out the same unfinished warning over and over. Lightray is what? The answer to that question is the reason this team exists, and it's a secret that could decide the fate of everything.